Okay, so here we are today with Unit 7, Lesson 2. Okay, and today our focus is to simplify numerical expressions. So we want to make sure we understand what it is that means. Simplify numerical expressions. There we go. Okay, so first we remember expressions from yesterday. Expressions are numbers, operations, and variables, but they do not have an equal sign. There's no equal sign involved in an expression. Okay, so when an expression doesn't have a variable, so when there is no variable, you can simplify that expression. Okay, so as an example, if we had 6 times the quantity of 2 plus 4 divided by 3, is there a variable in that expression? No. So we can actually solve it. But we need to remember our order of operations. Because without our order of operations, we would get the wrong simplification. Okay, so simplify is a similar term to solve. You want to get it down to one final number. Okay, so with this one, we know what all of these are. We know these operations include multiplication, addition, and division, and then we know there's a set of parentheses involved. Those are all things that we're familiar with. So with order of operations, if you look back on page 241 here, step 1 says perform operations inside parentheses. We have parentheses, so we're going to do that part first. 2 plus 4 is 6. Now we're going to multiply and divide from left to right. Yesterday I made the mistake of saying right to left, like you read a book, but no, you read a book from left to right. So we'll make sure we do it from left to right. All right, we have multiplication and division left over. So we just need to do step 2 from left to right. So 6 times 6 is, try again. Okay. And then we're going to do the division. 36 divided by 3 is, and that is our simplification. Okay. So that is one example. What I want you to do is look over here on page 241 at number 1. And let's follow the order of operations to simplify 25 minus the quantity of 5 plus 2 multiplied by 3. Okay, work on that by yourself and see if you can solve that. Go through the steps. Step 1, perform the operations inside the parentheses. Do that first. Inside the parentheses is 5 plus 2. So it would look like this when you're done. Then step 2 says multiply and divide from left to right. Okay, well this is subtraction. Are we going to do that right now? No. So we need to do this first. 7 times 3. So 25 minus 7 times 3 is 21. So that's what that will look like for step 2. And then finally our step 3 is add and subtract from left to right. Well, 25 minus 21 is 4. So we have now simplified that expression. We've gotten down to one number. Okay. I want to go ahead and go on to the next page real quick because I want to introduce some new symbols to you on how we can group. Okay, so we have already learned parentheses. We've talked about parentheses. We know that we need to do them first. We know what they look like. Okay. But there are also some other grouping symbols that I want you to be aware of. So if you look at this page, you'll see a couple things on there that are different. We'll see brackets. That are like boxy looking parentheses. And then you're also going to see braces, not the braces on your teeth, but they have these little squiggles to them. Okay, those are called braces. So you have 3 different grouping symbols that are used in math. There are others, but those are the ones that we're working on right now. And when you have multiple sets of grouping symbols, you start from the inside and you work your way out. Okay, so the innermost things are going to be parentheses. The next thing out will be the brackets, and then finally you'll have braces. Okay, so let's try one of those. If you look at number 16, it has all 3 of those combined in there. So let's look at that number and try to solve that one together. Let me move this out of the way. Okay, so remember, we want to work from the inside out. Okay, so notice here, it says add the parentheses, divide inside the brackets, and then multiply. So that's that example that they have there. We're going to do one that has all 3 of those to practice. Okay, so what do we need to do first? We need to do the parentheses because that's what comes first, inside out. Okay, so we have 2 divided by 1. 2 divided by 1 is 2 or 1. Which one? 2. Good. And then we'll have that brace at the end. Okay, so now we've gotten rid of the parentheses. Now we need to work into the brackets because that's what's next. Okay, so we're going to continue working. 14 plus 2 is? What? Oh, it's 4. I'm sorry. That makes more sense. Sorry, let me redo this one so I'm not confusing myself and you. There we go. So 8 divided by 4 divided by 2 is 2. Now we need to do that bracket set. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Now we finally got rid of all those grouping mechanisms, all those grouping symbols, and we're down to the subtraction. 10 minus 4 is 6. That is our simplification for that expression. Okay, so the key to tonight's homework, you're going to have 9 questions again. 8 of them are just like this, where you're simplifying expressions. Okay, you're just trying to come down to the bottom number where it's just one number. The last one is a puzzled penguin kind of question, where it's giving you something that didn't go right and you need to figure out what they didn't do correctly. Okay, so when you look at this puzzled penguin down here, it says I wrote the expression 6 multiplied by 6 plus 2 for the area of the rectangle at the right. My friend says you forgot the parentheses. Can you explain what my friend meant? Okay, so for this one, if you look at, remember we know area is length times width. We have to figure out what this quantity is first in order to multiply length times width. If we did it this way, we're multiplying 6 times 6 first and then adding 2. But we actually need the parentheses here to get that side, the length of that one side first, and then multiply by the other side. Okay, so your puzzle penguin will be similar to that on your homework tonight. Okay, so coming back to our learning today, parentheses, brackets, and braces are all grouping things, and you work from the inside out. Okay, so remember, key point for tonight, work from the inside out when you have multiple groupings. Okay, good luck, mathematicians.